I'm going to be explaining how much money I invested when I first started my clothing brand. In this video, I said I spent 25K on a bulk order for my first ever rebrand. Keep in mind, I did that after I hit 6 figures with my business, so I had money in my bank account. When I first started my brand, so this is 2022, I only started off with $1,000. I recommend you guys start off with $2,000 to $3,000 because $1,000 is pushing it. If you think you can start a brand with $0, you are tripping out of your mind. It's definitely not impossible, but how likely is it for a Joe Schmo to run a 10 flat for a 100-meter dash? Probably nobody. Same exact concept. The fact that you're going to start a clothing brand with $0, you're like, it doesn't make sense, okay? The more money you start off with, the better. But for me, for example, I did not have a lot of money because my parents are not rich. They're not going to support anything. Even till this day, they don't like the fact that I have a business. They want me to focus on school. I also got fired from my minimum wage job because I never did the work. I only had $1,000 to my name. Now, what do I recommend for most of you guys to do? If you have a job, keep working so you can use the money that you get from your job to put into the business. Try to save up around $2,000 to $3,000 to start your clothing brand. If it's anything else like drop shipping, copywriting, drop shipping, you don't need that much money, maybe a band. But for a clothing brand, you have to buy the inventory and you have to buy so many different like supplies and things like that. It's just expensive. If there's anyone else on the app that said that they started a brand with $0 and they hit decent amount of sales very quickly. So for example, if you start with $0 and you take a year and a half to get like, I don't know, 10K in sales. Like, yeah, you got 10K in sales, but it took a year and a half. I hit 10K in sales within like the first 4 or 5 months. The only difference is that I started off with $1,000, which I'm sure most of you guys have. I really want to emphasize this because I think a lot of people think that business or clothing brand specifically, it's like a hobby, so they don't start off with a lot of money. But if you treat it as a hobby, you will get hobby results. Hence the reason why you don't get any type of sales. The clothing brand industry is a cash flow industry, which means you need to have a lot of cash flow. And you can't have cash flow if you don't have the initial cash. So you need to bring that up front somehow.